So here we go, 10-year rebuild of the Minnesota Wild. I'm taking over as GM for the next 10 seasons, and I'm going to win this team their first Stanley Cup. And the first thing I'm doing is signing Fleury to a 2-year extension worth $3.7 million per. So I'm going to go ahead and simulate through the first 10 games and see how this team's looking. Through the first 10, we're looking okay with a 5-4-1 record, but we stepped it up over the next 15, going 11-4, and we're currently sitting at a 16-8-1 record. I'm going to make one trade on the way to the 50 game mark, which is Talbot and a fifth to Chicago for Lankinen and Kurashev. And Kurashev, I'm going to give you an 8-year deal worth $1 million per. If he becomes a top 6 player for us at $1 million, that's an elite contract. Through 50 games, we're looking just average with a 27-18-5 record, 5th in the Central and 14th in the entire league. Kirill Kaprizov's leading the way with 22 goals and 21 assists for 43 points. Eriksson next got 11 goals and 27 assists for 38 points, and Zuccarello's picked up 14 goals and 23 assists for 37 points. Leading our defense is Jared Spurgeon with 8 goals and 28 assists for 36 points, while Fleury's picked up 23 wins with a .925 save percentage and a .242 goals against. Now that we have an idea how the team's doing, I'm going to simulate over to the trade deadline, and then we're probably making a few moves. Over our next 10 games, we went 5-2-3, so I think we got to make at least one move. So Goligoski, I'm saying you to the St. Louis Blues for Perunovic, a third and a fifth. With that move in the books, we're simming to the end of the season and see how this team finishes. When the season came to an end, the Minnesota Wild are finishing with a 42-28-11 record, third in the Central and 13th in the entire league. Kaprizov led the way with 71 points, consisting of 36 goals and 35 assists, while Joel Eriksson next picking up 18 goals and 43 assists for 61 points. Kevin Fiala is rounding out the top 3 with 59 points, consisting of 25 goals and 34 assists, while Jared Spurgeon leads the defense with 13 goals and 40 assists for 53 points. And Fleury's picking up 33 wins with a .916 save percentage and a .271 goals against. Leading the entire league in scoring was Austin Matthews with 52 goals and 40 assists for 92 points, and tied with him is Alex DeBrincat with 47 goals and 45 assists for 92 points. And rounding out the top 3, but also tied for first, is Connor McDavid, 34 goals and 58 assists for 92 points. Drew Doughty's leading all defensemen in points with 12 goals and 60 assists for 72 points, while Andrei Vasilevsky's picking up 47 wins with a .926 save percentage and a .211 goals against. Before we head into the postseason, Kevin Fiala, I'm going to give you a 3-year extension at $5.8 million per, and Lankinen, you're getting 2 years at $1 million per. In the first round, we have a tough matchup as we're taking on the Colorado Avalanche. A 33 save shutout from Kemper gives Colorado game 1. The Wild respond in game 2 with 3 unanswered in the third to even the series. 7 goals from Minnesota is more than enough, and they're taking game 3. Goals from Zuccarello and Kurashev are enough, and Colorado's pushed to the brink of elimination in game 4. And in game 5, Minnie's off to the second round. In the second round, we're going to match up against the Chicago Blackhawks. Minnesota opens the series with a dominant 3-1 win, but Chicago's stealing game 2 with 3 unanswered. A Fleury shutout in game 3 evens up the series, and 2 Kurashev goals is leading Minnesota to a 3-1 series lead. A late push from Chicago isn't enough in game 5, and Minnesota's off to the conference finals. In the conference finals, they're taking on the Dallas Stars. In a back and forth affair in game 1, Dallas is coming out on top 4-3. 4 goals is more than enough in game 2, and the Wild are evening up the series. Dallas scores 3 straight, which gives them a 2-1 series lead, but Jared Spurgeon's able to pot 2 in game 4, which keeps him in the series. A Rupe Hintz OT winner in game 5 puts Minnesota on the brink of elimination, but in game 6, a Fleury shutout forces game 7, and in game 7, 3 unanswered in the third is sending us to the Stanley Cup final. So here we are, the Stanley Cup final. The Minnesota Wild are taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Minnesota starts the series off strong with a 4-2 win, but an OT winner from Riley Nash is evening the series. 2 third period goals is giving Minnie a 2-1 series lead, but once again in game 4, Tampa's able to respond with a 3-1 win. 2 third period goals puts Tampa 1 game away from hoisting the cup, and in game 6, a lone goal from Killorn is sending Minnie home. We might have lost in year 1, but this is a good sign for what's to come. We made the finals already. I'm expecting big things from this team now. Leading all postseason scorers was Kirill Kaprizov with 6 goals and 17 assists for 23 points, while Andrei Vasilevsky picks up 16 wins with a .935 save percentage and a .194 goals against. Taking a look at the draft lottery, Arizona's jumping from 4-1. We had 5 picks in the upcoming draft, but our best prospect ended up being a medium top 6 potential center. During the re-sign phase, I'm qualifying a bunch of RFAs while signing rookies. And now we got some extensions to go through. Boldy, I'm giving you $4.3 million per year for the next 6. Dumba, I'm signing you to a 5x5. Zuccarello is off to Vegas for a second and a third. And now we're making a big move, which is Johnny Gaudreau to a 6-year deal worth $9.3 million per. Him alongside Kirill Kaprizov's going to do amazing things. And then Yandel, I'm giving you a 1-year deal at $3.7 million. Greenway, you're going to Nashville for a third and a fourth. Foligno, you're going to the Islanders for a third and a fourth. And Perunovic, I'm giving you a 2x2. While Jost is getting a 6-year extension worth $4.1 million per. I'm going to sign Dustin Brown to a 1-year deal worth $2.3 million. I know he was retired, but he was available, so I took him. Engvall, I'm going to give you 1 year at $850K, and Myrtle, a fourth and a fifth, is off to Toronto for Robertson. So last season was a great start to the video, but let's try to top it this year and win ourselves a Stanley Cup. So like usual, we'll simulate through the first 10 games and see how this team's looking. Through the first 10, things aren't looking great as we start the year 3-6-1, but we step it up over the next 15 going 10-3-2, and we're currently sitting at a 13-9-3 record. Through 50 games, this team's dialed in 30-15-5, second in the Central and 6th in the entire league. Johnny Hockey's leading the way with 21 goals and 45 assists for 66 points. Kirill Kaprizov's picking up 28 goals and 31 helpers for 59 points, while Joel Eriksson rounds out the top 3 with 13 goals and 25 assists for 38 points. Out of all defensemen, Keith Yandel is leading the team so far with 6 goals and 23 assists for 29 points, and Marc-Andre Fleury, he's picked up 27 wins with a .907 save percentage and a .271 goals against. So heading towards the trade deadline, I think we need to pick up a superstar defenseman, and I think I already know who I want. Over the next 11 games, the team's looking pretty solid, going 6-2-3, but we need that superstar defenseman now. So Jared Spurgeon in a 6 is off to Carolina for Teravainen fast in a 3rd, and then I'm going to flip Teravainen along with a 2nd, a 3rd, and a 5th, and a prospect to Dallas for Miro Heiskanen. With the addition of Heiskanen, I'm going to simulate to the end of the season and see how we finish. The Minnesota Wild finished the season out strong with a 47-24-11 record, 2nd in the Central and 4th in the entire league. Johnny Hockey dominates with 32 goals and 60 assists for 92 points, while Kirill Kaprizov's picking up 38 goals and 47 helpers for 85 points. And Joel Eriksson, he continues to do his thing, 60 points consisting of 25 goals and 35 assists. Miro Heiskanen's leading the defense with 13 goals and 35 assists for 48 points, while Marc-Andre Fleury picks up 40 wins with a .910 save percentage and a .266 goals against. Leading all scorers is Connor McDavid with 47 goals and 56 assists for 103 points. Kopitar's coming in second with 37 goals and 63 assists for 100 points, and Nathan MacKinnon's going to round out the top 3 with 92 points consisting of 38 goals and 54 assists. Cale Makar's leading all defensemen in points with 76 consisting of 16 goals and 60 assists, while Igor Shesterkin's picking up 41 wins with a .912 save percentage and a .263 goals against. In the first round, once again, we'll be taking on the Colorado Avalanche. 2 third-period goals from Dustin Browns helping us take Game 1, 3 unanswered in the thirds allowing Maine to take a 2-0 series lead. 4 Kaprizov goals is putting Colorado on the brink of elimination, but the Avalanche avoid the sweep in Game 4 with a 6-0 win. But in Game 5, the Wild are closing the door and they're off to the second round. 6 unanswered from the Blues are allowing them to take Game 1. By the way, we're playing the Blues. Forgot to mention that. A shorthanded goal from Hartman's allowing Minnesota to even the series, but the Blues are winning a back-and-forth affair in Game 3 to take a 2-1 series lead. Minnesota is able to respond yet again with a 6-2 win to even the series, but like usual, the Blues are winning the next game, and they're putting the Wild on the brink of elimination. 5 first-period goals alongside a Fleury shutout is going to force Game 7, and in Game 7, Marc-Andre Fleury is picking up another shutout, and the Minnesota Wild are off to the conference finals once again. And in the conference finals, we'll match up against the San Jose Sharks. A 7-goal game is helping the Sharks take Game 1, and the Sharks continue to roll, taking Game 2 6-2. A late goal from Jost is keeping the Minnesota Wild in the series as they win Game 3 4-3. Minnesota continues to fight back, scoring a goal in each period, and they're evening the series at 2 games apiece. A late push from the Sharks isn't enough, and Minnesota puts themselves 1 game away from the Stanley Cup. But in Game 6, the Sharks aren't going down easy, and they're forcing Game 7. Luckily, Minnesota's been here before, and 5 goals is going to send us to the Stanley Cup final. And in the Stanley Cup final, we got us another rematch. Tampa Bay versus Minnesota. Tampa's going for their 4th straight cup, while Minnesota's going for their 1st in history. Tampa starts the series off strong with a 5-3 win, but a Hartman OT winner in Game 2 is going to even the series. 3 straight goals from the Lightning is going to put them up 2-1, but 3 straight from Minnesota is going to even the series once again. A 9-goal statement game from Tampa signals the end for Minnesota, but the Wild aren't ready to fold yet as they win Game 6 and we're forcing another Game 7. And in Game 7, a late 3rd period push from Tampa isn't enough, and the Minnesota Wild are Stanley Cup champs. I feel like this is the first of many for this team. We got a really promising future, and we've already been to the Cup final 2 times in 2 years, so I'd say that's pretty successful. Kirill Kaprizov led the team in scoring with 15 goals and 15 assists for 30 points, while Braden Point's picking up 7 goals and 24 assists for 31 points. And of course, Marc-Andre Fleury, he's the Stanley Cup winning goaltender, 16 wins with a .904 save percentage and a .309 goals against. In the draft lottery, Philly's jumping from 2 to 1. We had 6 picks in the upcoming draft, but it wasn't a great one for us, as our best prospect ended up being a medium top 6 potential center. So like usual, I'm going to sign all of our rookies and qualify a bunch of RFAs. Now we're on to extensions. Addison, I'm giving you a 4-year deal at $2.15 million per. Hartman, 4 years at $4.1. Brodin, 2/3 and a 4th is off to Colorado for Devon Taves. I think this is an absolute steal for us. Rossi, you're getting 7 years at $5.9 million. Dmitry Kulikov's coming back on a 1-year deal worth $1.15 million. A prospect and 2/5 is off to the Blues for Goligoski, and a 1st, Addison, a 2nd and a 3rd is going to Buffalo for Jiricek. Heading into year 3, I think we're ready to repeat. We kept a majority of the core together while still making making some solid improvements, and I'm expecting big things from this team. So we'll go ahead and simulate through the first 10 games and see how we're looking. Through the first 10, we're looking just okay with a 6-4 record, but over the next 15, we struggled, going 6-6-3, so we're currently sitting at a 12-10-3 record. At the 50 game mark, we've dialed in 29-18-3, first in the Central and 8th in the entire league. Johnny Hockey is once again leading the way with 16 goals and 37 assists for 53 points, while Kirill Kaprizov's picked up 19 goals and 31 assists for 50 points. And Joel Eriksson, he continues to do his thing, 12 goals and 24 assists for 36 points. Devon Toews is leading our defense with 11 goals and 17 assists for 28 points, while Marc-Andre Fleury's picked up 26 wins with a .913 save percentage and a .270 goals against. So I think our team's looking great right now. I'm going to simulate over to the trade deadline, and honestly, I don't think we'll make too many moves because I don't really have too many more assets to flip. Over the next 12 games, we weren't too great, going 6-3-3, so I have a few concerns about this team. But like I said earlier, I don't have any assets to trade, so we're going to roll with the team we have. So with no trades being made, I'm simulating to the end of the season, and we'll see how we look. When the season came to an end, we're looking not too bad with a 46-28-8 record, second in the Central and 6th in the entire league. Actually, we're looking better than alright. We're looking great. Kaprizov led the team in scoring with 35 points, consisting of 35 goals and 50 assists, while Johnny Hockey's coming in not too far behind with 24 goals and 58 assists for 82 points. And Joel Eriksson rounding out the top 3 with 16 goals and 39 assists for 55 points. Devon Toews led our defense with 49 points, consisting of 15 goals and 34 assists, while Marc-Andre Fleury's picking up 38 wins with a .907 save percentage and a .287 goals against. Leading the entire league in points is Mikko Rantanen with 38 goals and 61 assists for 99 points. Leon Draisaitl is coming in second with 44 goals and 49 assists for 93 points, and Stamkos is tied with Draisaitl with 42 points and 51 assists for 93 points. Victor Hedman's leading all defensemen in points with 7 goals and 57 assists for 64 points, while Andre Vasilevsky was dialed in, 54 wins with a .922 save percentage and a .230 goals against. So as this team looks to repeat, we're going to have to take on the St. Louis Blues in the first round. St. Louis comes out quick in game 1 that leads to a 4-2 game 1 win. A third period push isn't enough from Minnesota, and the Blues are taking a 2-0 series lead. And a 5-2 win in game 3 puts the reigning Stanley Cup champs on the brink of elimination. However, Mini isn't ready to quit. They're going to take game 4 in a tight 3-2 win, and they're going to dominate game 5 with 8 goals. And a 4-1 win in game 6 is forcing game 7. And here we are in game 7 as Minnesota completes the improbable 3-0 series comeback. In the second round, we're taking on the Colorado Avalanche. An OT winner from Eriksson gives Mini game 1, and the Wild continue to roll, taking their 6th straight game 6-4. Nothing can stop the Wild as they push Colorado to the brink of elimination in a 4-1 win, and in game 4, Minnesota is completing the sweep for their 8th straight win. In the conference finals, we're taking on the Calgary Flames. The win streak continues for the Wild with the help of an OT winner from Eriksson. Someone finally has an answer for the Wild as Calgary evens the series with a 3-2 win. An OT winner from Hartman puts Mini up 2-1, while a Fleury shutout puts us 1 game away from the Stanley Cup final. And in game 5, we're heading back to the Stanley Cup final for our 3rd year in a row. But this time, we're taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins, and Marc-Andre Fleury wants to win one against his former team. Minnesota opens up game 1 with a 4-0 shutout from Fleury. Another Fleury shutout is helping Minnesota take a 2-0 series lead. 2 Kaprizov goals are putting Pittsburgh on the brink of being swept in the Stanley Cup final. However, the Penguins are avoiding the sweep in game 4 with a 3-2 win, and they avoid elimination in game 5 with a 3-2 win. But in game 6, Minnesota is not blowing a 3-0 series lead, and they're winning back-to-back Stanley Cups. So we've just won 2, now it's time to do what Tampa couldn't, win 3 in a row. Johnny Hockey led the Wild in scoring with 6 goals and 17 assists for 23 points, while Mitch Marner led all postseason scorers with 4 goals and 20 assists for 24 points. And Marc-Andre Fleury, he's our Stanley Cup winning goaltender, 16 wins with a .938 save percentage and a .193 goals against. Taking a look at the draft lottery results, the Kings are getting the first overall pick. We had 5 picks in the upcoming draft, and our best prospect ended up being a low elite potential defenseman. So I'm going to go ahead and qualify a bunch of RFAs and sign the rookies from last season. Heading into free agency, Fleury's going to get a 1-year extension at $2.7 million. Perunovic is getting 6 years at $4.6. Wallsted's getting 5 years at $3.8 million. Fiala, along with a second, a prospect, a third, and a seventh, is going to the Devils for Holtz. Taves is getting a 4-year extension worth $8.5 million per, and Holtz, I'm giving you 3 years at $3.75 million. Hartman had a fantastic postseason run for us, but I gotta ship him away with 2 prospects to Winnipeg for Vesalainen. And then Robertson, I'm giving you 3 years at $2.7 million, and Bolduc, you're just getting under $800K for 1 year. So we all know what's on the line this season. It's time to go out there and make history. Let's complete the three-peat. And if you're enjoying the content so far, make sure to subscribe. I'm trying to hit 20,000 subs by the end of the month, and every single sub helps a ton. So like usual, we'll simulate through the first 10 games and see how this team's looking. Through 10 games, the team's looking not that great with a 4-5-1 record. Now over the next 15, we struggled even more. 4-9-3, and we're sitting at an 18-14-3 record. So currently, Wallstead has been hot garbage for us. I want Fleury getting all the reps this season, so you got to be traded. So Wallstead, a first, a prospect, a fourth, and a sixth is off to Arizona for Shane Wright and an AHL goalie. Once that trade was made, this team turned it around. 28, 16, and 6 through 50, second in the Central and 6th in the entire league. And yes, I know I could have made Wallstedt the backup, but we're in a win now situation, and we're doing anything to win. That includes trading him. Kaprizov's leading the way with 23 goals and 24 assists for 47 points. Gaudreau's second on the team in scoring with 19 goals and 27 assists for 46 points, and Shane Wright's rounding out the top 3 with 33 points, consisting of 14 goals and 19 assists. Miro Heiskanen's leading the defense like usual with 3 goals and 16 assists for 19 points, while Marc-Andre Fleury's picked up 21 wins with a .922 save percentage and a .227 goals against. So heading towards the trade deadline, I don't expect to make any moves, seeing as we literally traded the rest of our picks away to get Shane Wright. Over the next 13 games, we struggled to win 7 and 6, but we still can't make any trades because, as I said earlier, we traded everything away so far. So we'll simulate to the end of the season and see how we finish. When the season came to an end, we're finishing with a 43, 32, and 7 record, 3rd in the Central and 10th in the entire league. Johnny Hockey led the way with 35 goals and 48 assists for 83 points, while Kirill Kaprizov's picking up 33 goals and 40 assists for 73 points. And Joel Eriksson, he's rounding out the top 3 with 14 goals and 44 assists for 58 points. Miro Heiskanen's leading the defense with 5 goals and 26 assists for 31 points, while Marc-Andre Fleury picks up 34 wins with a .914 save percentage and a .251 goals against. Leading the entire league in scoring is Nikita Kucherov with 61 goals and 46 assists for 107 points, Braden Points coming in second with 24 goals and 37 assists for 97 points, and Teravainen's rounding out the top 3 with 34 goals and 61 assists for 95 points. Of course, Cale Makar's leading all defensemen in points with 74, consisting of 14 goals and 60 assists, while Vasilevsky's picking up 45 wins with a .917 save percentage and a .240 goals against. In the first round, we're matching up against the St. Louis Blues once again. A solid OT winners giving the Blues game 1. After coming back from a 3-0 deficit, a lone third period goal from Sprong is putting the Blues up 2-0. In game 3, a Binder shutout is putting Mini on the brink of elimination, but we've been here before. But this time around in game 4, the Blues are completing the sweep and eliminating the Minnesota Wild. That one hurts. We were this close to a three-peat, and then we completely folded. You hate to see it, you really do. Kaprizov led our team in postseason scoring with 2 goals and 2 assists for 4 points. Nikita Kucherov led all postseason scorers with 21 goals and 14 assists for 35 points, while Varlamov's picking up 15 wins with a .903 save percentage and a .285 goals against to win the Stanley Cup. Taking a look at the draft lottery results, Vegas is getting the first overall pick. So like I've said a million times so far, we've traded all the picks away, so we only had 2, and our best prospect ended up being a medium top 6 potential left winger. So in free agency, we gotta make a bunch of moves. Well, Duke, you're getting $1.3 million per year for the next 4. Kaprizov, you're getting a 7-year extension at $9 million per. Shane Wright, a 5-year extension at $9.4 million per. Boldy, you're going to the Avs for 2 seconds. Varlamov, I'm signing you to a 1-year deal worth $4 million. Jost, you're going to the Caps for a 2nd and a 3rd, 2 seconds and a 4th, and a prospect is going to Toronto for Bunting. Iafalo's coming here on a 1-year deal worth $2.5 million. A prospect's going to Florida for a 6th, and then I'm flipping that 6th along with a 5th to the Kings for a 4th, and then Joel Eriksson along with a 2nd, a 3rd, a 4th, and a prospect is off to Columbus for Matthew Savoy. Jiricek's coming back on a 5-year deal worth $6 million per, and then a 1st along with Varlamov is off to the Stars for Ottinger, a 2nd, and a 3rd. So last season ended in disappointment, but we made a ton of moves, and I think we have a better team this year. So now all we gotta do is prove we're better. So I'll simulate through the first 10 games and we'll see how this team's looking. Through the first 10, we were just average with a 5-3-2 record, but we stepped it up over the next 15, 11-2-2, and we're currently 16-5-4. Through 50 games, this team's elite, 30-11-5, 1st in the Central and 2nd in the entire league. Johnny Hockey's leading the way with 20 goals and 34 assists for 54 points. Rossi's 2nd on the team in scoring with 18 goals and 35 assists for 53 points, and Kirill Kaprizov's picking up 49 points with 21 goals and 28 assists. Heiskanen's leading the defense like usual with 5 goals and 17 assists for 22 points, while Ottinger's picking up 26 wins with a .921 save percentage and a .229 goals against. Heading towards the trade deadline, I don't know if there's too many moves we can make because I don't want to shake this team up too much. Over the next 11, we weren't that great going 6-4-1, but I'm not too worried. I'm not going to make any trades, so we'll simulate to the end of the season and see how we finish. The Minnesota Wild finished the season out strong with a 51-19-12 record, 1st in the Central and 2nd in the entire league. Johnny Hockey led the way with 91 points consisting of 31 goals and 60 assists, while Rosie's picking up 28 goals and 53 assists for 81 points. Kirill the Thrill's picking up 32 goals and 48 assists for 80 points, while Miro Heiskanen picks up 10 goals and 29 assists for 39 points. And Jake Ottinger, he was doing his thing in net, 42 wins with a .919 save percentage and a .238 goals against. Leading the entire league in scoring is Connor McDavid, 50 goals and 60 assists for 110 points. Matthews, he's picking up 51 goals and 57 assists for 108 points. And Mitch Marner, he's rounding out the top 3 with 100 points, consisting of 36 goals and 64 assists. Leading all defensemen in points is Quinn Hughes with 9 goals and 61 helpers for 70 points, and once again, Vasilevsky's leading all goaltenders in wins with 47, consisting of a 922 save percentage and a 227 goals against. So Minnesota is looking to bounce back in the postseason, and we're taking on the Avs in the first round. The Avs steal game 1 with 3 unanswered in the third, but Minnesota responds in game 2 with 3 unanswered of their own to even up the series. Colorado's taking a close game 3 2-1, and a 4-2 Avs win in game 4 is putting Minnesota on the brink of elimination, and in game 5, a big game from Colorado's defense is sending us home. When the playoffs came to an end, the Toronto Maple Leafs are winning the cup over the San Jose Sharks in 7 games, but back-to-back first round exits, that's not going to happen again, I can guarantee you that. Heiskanen led us in postseason scoring with 1 goal and 4 assists for 5 points, while Austin Matthews picked up 22 goals and 13 assists for 35 points to lead all postseason scorers, and Jack Campbell, he's winning the cup with 16 wins while posting a 920 save percentage and a 241 goals against. Taking a look at the draft lottery results, Seattle's jumping from 9-1. We had 5 picks in the upcoming draft, and our best prospects ended up being a medium elite potential goalie and then another medium elite potential goalie. So we're not going to make a ton of moves in free agency, but I'm bringing Beckman back on a 3-year deal worth $1 million. Savoy's getting $2.9 million per year for the next 5. Vesalainen is signing a 4-year deal worth $3 million per. Ottinger's coming back on a 6-year deal worth just under $7 million, and Anderson, he's going to be our backup for the next 2 years on a $1.2 million deal. A 7's off to Winnipeg for a depth piece. Holtz is going to the Penguins for a 2nd and a 3rd, and then Bunting's off to the Blues for Thompson. And our final move is sending Robertson, a 3rd and a 5th, to Ottawa for Zaka. So I still believe this team can win. We just need to play up to our potential. So I'll simulate through the first 10 games and we'll see how we look. Through the first 10, we're doing better than last year with a 6-4 record. But over the next 15, we were subpar with a 7-8 record, and we're currently sitting at a 13-12-0 record. Through 50 games, we've dominated 32-16-2, 1st in the Central and 2nd in the entire league. So that means over the past 25 games, we've gone 19-4-2. Yeah, this team's built different. Kaprizov's leading the way with 27 goals and 26 assists for 53 points, while Johnny Hockey's picked up 19 goals and 30 assists for 49 points, and Rossi's rounding out the top 3 with 11 goals and 36 assists for 47 points. Devon Taves is leading the defense this year with 6 goals and 23 assists for 29 points, while Ottinger's picked up 22 wins with a 909 save percentage and a 252 goals against. Before we simulate to the trade deadline, I'm giving Thompson a 3-year extension worth $4.5 million per. So for the first time in a while, heading into the trade deadline, we actually might be able to make a move because we still have a few picks. Over the next 13 games, we're looking fantastic with a 9-3-1 record, so I'm making one move. Prospect and a 4th is off to the Flames for Kapanen. With that move in the books, we'll simulate to the end of the season and see how we finish. So Minnesota finished the season out strong, but that's still not enough. A 52-27-3 record is only good enough for 3rd in the Central, but we're 5th in the entire league. We're in a loaded division right now. Shane Wright led the team in scoring with 36 goals and 52 assists for 88 points, while Johnny Hockey's coming in 2nd with 80 points, consisting of 32 goals and 48 assists, while Rossi rounds out the top 3 with 15 goals and 63 assists for 78 points. Devon Taves dominated this season, 8 goals and 43 assists for 51 points, while Ottinger's picking up 37 wins with a 900 save percentage and a 282 goals against. Leading the entire league in scoring is Leon Draisaitl with 52 goals and 59 assists for 111 points. Connor McDavid's coming in 2nd, not too far behind with 109 points, consisting of 39 goals and 70 assists, and rounding out the top 3 is going to be Lindholm with 35 goals and 64 assists for 99 points. Mo Seider's leading all defensemen this year with 11 goals and 65 assists for 76 points, and Wallsted's picking up 44 wins with a 914 save percentage and a 252 goals against to lead all goaltenders in wins. Maybe we should have held on to you. In the first round, we're matching up against the Chicago Blackhawks. A dominant 7-goal game gives Minnesota game 1. 3 unanswered in the third helps the Wild take a 2-0 series lead. An Ottinger shutout puts the Chicago Blackhawks on the brink of being swept, and in game 4, Minnesota is completing the sweep. In the second round, we're going to match up against the Arizona Coyotes, and who's in net for them? It's none other than Wallstead. An OT winner from Savoy is extending the Wild's win streak to 5 games, and Mini continues to roll, taking game 2 5-3. Arizona finally has an answer for Minnesota as they win game 3 4-1. A late push from Arizona isn't enough, and Mini puts himself 1 game away from the conference finals. The Yotes are able to avoid elimination in game 5, but in game 6, a 2-1 win is sending us to the conference finals, and in the conference finals, we're matching up against the Edmonton Oilers. Edmonton controls game 1, which leads to a 6-1 win, but Minnesota responds in game 2 with a 5-2 win. A 3-1 lead isn't enough, and the Minnesota Wild fight back and take a 2-1 series lead. A close 4-3 win puts Minnesota 1 game away from the Stanley Cup. Edmonton's not ready to fold as a Matt Murray shutout keeps them in the series, but in game 6, 5 unanswered is sending us to our 4th Stanley Cup in 6 years. In the Stanley Cup, we're taking on the Detroit Red Wings. We've been here before, and we know what we have to do. A 3-0 lead is enough for Detroit as they take game 1, and 4 unanswered gives them a 2-0 series lead. An OT winner from Zaka is keeping Mini in the series, and a close 2-1 win is evening the series at 2 games apiece. In game 5, an OT winner from Zadina is putting the Minnesota Wild on the brink of elimination, and in game 6, a late 3-1 lead in the third is too much to overcome, and the Red Wings are defeating the Minnesota Wild. This was a tough one to lose, but we're keeping most most of the core around for next season, so I have a feeling we'll be back. Kaprizov led the Wild in postseason scoring with 25 points consisting of 13 goals and 12 assists, while Mo Seider led all postseason scorers with 5 goals and 24 assists for 29 points. And picking up 16 wins with a .922 save percentage and a .239 goals against is none other than Kaapo Kähkönen. Taking a look at the draft lottery results, New Jersey's jumping from 6 to 1. So the projected number 1 overall pick has medium franchise potential, and I really want him. So Savoy, a first, a second, and a third is off to New Jersey for the first overall pick, and we're going to select Steen, a medium franchise potential right winger. After drafting him, I'm going to sign some rookies and qualify some RFAs. And Steen, he's jumping into the lineup immediately this season, so he's getting a 3-year deal at $1 million per. Gaudreau, I'm giving you a 3-year extension at $9 million per. Dumba's off to the Avs for a third and a fourth. Anderson's also going to the Avs for 2 sevenths. Then Husso on a 1-year deal with 1.2. Yoki Haru, $2.75 million per year for the next 2. Kunin, 2 years at 1.2. Fabry, 1 year at 1.75. Taves in a fifth is off to the Islanders for Ty Smith in 2 seconds. The reason I'm getting rid of Taves now is next season he wants around $11 million, and I'm not going to be able to afford that, but I can definitely afford Ty Smith's $6 million. So last season had a disappointing ending, but we're ready to bounce back, and we're going to win this time around. So I'm going to go ahead and simulate through the first 10 games and see how we're looking. Through the first 10, we're looking elite with a 7-2-1 record, and over the next 15, we continue to roll, going 10-5, and we're sitting at a 17-7-1 record. Through 50 games, we're looking fantastic. 34-11-5, first in the Central and first in the entire league. Johnny Hockey's leading the way with 26 goals and 26 helpers for 52 points. Rossi's coming in second with 15 goals and 37 assists for 52 points, and Shane Wright's picking up 20 goals and 27 assists for 47 points. Miro Heiskanen's leading the defense with 14 goals and 23 assists for 37 points, while Jake Ottinger's picked up 32 wins with a .903 save percentage and 276 goals against. Heading into the trade deadline, I don't think I'm going to make any moves because this team's looking elite right now, and I don't want to mess anything up. Over our next 10, we're looking okay with a 6-2-2 record, and like I said, this team's looking elite. I don't want to mess anything up, so we're not making any trades. With no trades being made, we'll simulate to the end of the season and see how we finish. When the season finished, we're sitting at a 55-17-10 record, first in the Central and first in the entire league. Tage Thompson led the way with 25 goals and 59 assists for 84 points. Rossi's coming in second with 23 goals and 60 assists for 83 points, and Johnny Hockey's rounding out the top 3 with 41 goals and 41 helpers for 82 points. Miro Heiskanen's leading the defense with 20 goals and 36 assists for 56 points, while Jake Ottinger's picking up 49 wins with a .911 save percentage and 254 goals against. Connor McDavid's leading the entire league in points with 43 goals and 62 helpers for 105 points, while Leon Draisaitl picks up 95 points consisting of 30 goals and 65 assists. And Alexander Ovechkin, at 42 years old, he's picking up 55 goals and 36 assists for 91 points. Adam Fox is leading all defensemen in points with 9 goals and 60 assists for 69 points, while Jake Ottinger, he's leading all goaltenders in wins, but we already know what his numbers are. In the first round, we're taking on the Colorado Avalanche. The Avs are winning a back and forth affair in game 1 4-3, and an OT winner from Zach is evening the series in game 2. A close 2-1 win is giving Minnesota a 2-1 series lead, but Colorado is evening the series once again with the help of an OT winner from D'Angelo. An Ottinger shutout in game 5 puts Minnesota 1 game away from the second round, and 4 unanswered is sending us to the second round. In the second round, we're matching up against the Arizona Coyotes in Wallstead once again. A close 2-1 win is giving Arizona game 1, but 2 Steen goals is evening up the series. 2 first period goals is enough, and the Minnesota Wild are taking a 2-1 series lead. 3 unanswered is putting Mini 1 game away from the conference finals, and in game 5, 3 second period goals is sending us to the conference finals. In the conference finals, we're matching up against the Dallas Stars. 3 first period goals is allowing Minnesota to take game 1. An Ottinger shutout in game 2 is putting us up 2 games to none. An OT winner from Seguin's keeping the Stars in this series, but the Wild dominate game 3 with 6 goals, and they put themselves 1 game away from the Stanley Cup. And in game 5, another Ottinger shutout is sending us back to the Stanley Cup final. And here we are in the Stanley Cup final. The Minnesota Wild are taking on the New York Islanders. A Jari shutout gives the Islanders game 1, but Minnesota wins a close game 2, 2-1, and they even the series. A 4-2 win in game 3 gives Minnesota a 2-1 series lead, and a 5-goal game puts Minnesota 1 game away from hoisting the cup. The Islanders survive another day with a high-scoring 8-6 win, but in game 6, a late push isn't enough, and Minnesota's hoisting the cup once again. So we've got 3 cups so far, but that isn't enough. I want to get another. Leading all postseason scorers was Rossi with 8 goals and 14 assists for 22 points, while Ottinger's picking up 16 wins with a .926 save percentage and a .208 goals against. Taking a look at the draft lottery results, Montreal's jumping 4-1. We had 7 picks in the upcoming draft, but it wasn't a great draft as our best prospect ended up being a low top 6 potential right winger. So like usual, we're signing rookies and qualifying RFAs. Heiskanen, I'm going to give you a 6-year extension at $10.5 million. Kunin, 5 years at $4.7 million. Zaka, 2 years at $3.8 million. Georgiev, 2 years at $800K. Strome, 1 year at $1.3. Ratcliffe, you're getting a 2x2. A prospect's off to the Jets for a second and a fourth. And then this is going to be the toughest move yet. Gaudreau in a second is going to to the Avs for Boldy in a third. Gaudreau, you're slowly starting to decline, and your trade value is slowly falling off a cliff, so I want to get rid of you while I still can get something. And then Boldy, I'm going to give you a 4-year extension at $6.5 million. So we didn't make too many changes. We kept the majority of the core round, so I'm looking for a similar result. Let's go get our 4th cup. I'm going to go ahead and simulate through the first 10 games and see how we look. Through the first 10, we struggled a bit, going 4-6. But over the next 15, we stepped it up, going 9-5-1, and we're sitting at a 13-11-1 record. Through 50 games, it's cause for concern. 25-24-1, 3rd in the Central and 16th in the entire league. Kirill the Thrill's leading the way with 10 goals and 31 assists for 41 points. Rossi's picked up 12 goals and 28 assists for 40 points, while Shane Wright rounds out the top 3 with 13 goals and 24 assists for 37 points. Miro Heiskanen's leading the defense with 9 goals and 20 assists for 29 points, and Jake Ottinger, he's picking up 20 wins with a .908 save percentage and a .277 goals against. So heading into the trade deadline, we gotta make some moves, because at this pace, we might not even make the playoffs. Over our next 13 games, we continue to struggle, going 6-5-2. So a prospect and a 4th is off to the Sharks for Kuznetsov, and then another prospect along with a 4th is off to the Islanders for Veleno. With those 2 moves, we're going to simulate to the end of the season and just hope we make the playoffs. So when the season came to an end with a 39-37-6 record, we're 5th in the Central, 22nd in the entire league, and we're missing the playoffs. We went from Stanley Cup champs to missing the playoffs. You hate to see it, you really do. Rossi's picking up 18 goals and 57 assists for 75 points, while Kirill the Thrill's picking up 21 goals and 51 assists for 72 points. And Shane Wright, he's going to round out the top 3 with 63 points, consisting of 25 goals and 38 assists. Miro Heiskanen's picking up 14 goals and 32 assists for 46 points, and Jake Ottinger, he's picking up 31 wins with a .905 save percentage and a .283 goals against. Connor McDavid's leading the entire league in points with 51 goals and 64 assists for 115 points. Not too far behind was Leon Draisaitl with 108 points, consisting of 47 goals and 61 helpers, while Sebastian Aho was picking up 37 goals and 59 assists for 96 points. Leading all defensemen this season was Samuel Girard with 12 goals and 57 assists for 69 points, while Vasilevsky's picking up 45 wins with a .909 save percentage and a .277 goals against. When the playoffs came to an end, the Tampa Bay Lightning are defeating the Colorado Avalanche in 6 games, and we might have missed the playoffs this season. But that's not happening again. We're bouncing back next year, and we might even mess around and win ourselves another Stanley Cup. Mark my words. Kucherov led all postseason scores with 17 goals and 11 assists, 28 points, while Vasilevsky picked up 16 wins with a .922 save percentage and a .242 goals against. Taking a look at the draft lottery results, the Sharks are jumping from 3-1, and we're getting the 12th overall pick. So we gotta make some moves. Boldy's off to the Oilers for Ryder in a 2nd, and then the 12th overall, along with a 3rd, is going to the Islanders for Height. We had 7 picks in the upcoming draft, and our best prospect ended up being a low elite potential left winger. Ryder, I'm giving you a 3-year extension at $2.6 million. Steen, you're getting $10.6 million per year for the next 7. And JT Miller, you're coming here on a 1-year deal worth $7.9 million. A 2nd and a prospect's off to the Islanders for a 3rd line defenseman and a 3rd. And then Thompson, you're getting a 3-year extension at $7.1 million per. Last season was a fluke. We're bouncing back this year, and we're getting ourselves back to the Stanley Cup Finals. So like usual, we're simulating through the first 10 games and hoping we do better than last season. So we're definitely better than last season, but not by much, with a 5-4-1 record. Over the next 15, we stepped it up big time, going 12-2-1, so that means we're sitting at a 17-6-2 record. Through 50 games, the team's back. 34-11-5, 1st in the Central and 2nd in the entire league. JT Miller's leading the way with 14 goals and 42 assists for 56 points. Steen's picked up 54 points, consisting of 34 goals and 20 assists, while Shane Wright's got 16 goals and 35 assists for 51 points. Miro Heiskanen's leading the defense once again with 7 goals and 23 assists for 30 points, while Ottinger's picked up 23 wins with a .911 save percentage and a .256 goals against. Heading towards the trade deadline, I believe this team can win a Stanley Cup, so we got to make at least one move. Over the next 11, we're looking elite with a 7-2-2 record, so we're going to send 2 seconds over to Calgary for a depth piece. With that move in the books, we're simulating to the end of the season and getting ourselves another Stanley Cup. When the season came to an end, we're finishing with a 53-20-9 record, 1st in the Central and 1st in the entire league. Steen led the way with 53 goals and 32 assists for 85 points. Miller's coming in 2nd, tied with 85 points, consisting of 23 goals and 62 assists, while Thompson's picking up 38 goals and 42 assists for 80 points. Miro Heiskanen's leading the defense once again, but that shouldn't be a surprise. 9 goals and 35 assists for 44 points, while Ottinger picks up 35 wins with a .906 save percentage and a .267 goals against. Leading the entire league in scoring was Austin Matthews with 67 goals and 43 assists for 110 points. He was dialed in this season. Leon Draisaitl was picking up 36 goals and 70 assists for 106 points, while Sebastian Aho was picking up 101 points, consisting of 37 goals and 64 assists. For the first time in this video, Brandt Clarke's leading all defensemen in points with with 13 goals and 55 assists for 68 points, while Spencer Knight's picking up 43 wins with a 924 save percentage and a 233 goals against. In the first round, we're matching up against the Anaheim Ducks. 4 unanswered from Minnesota gives us game 1, but 3 unanswered from the Ducks is evening up the series. An OT winner from Riders putting the Minnesota Wild up 2-1, and a late push isn't enough, and Minnesota's taking a 3-1 series lead. And in game 5, 3 unanswered is sending us to the second round. In the second round, we'll match up against the St. Louis Blues. A dominant 7-goal game gives the Wild game 1. An OT winner from Heiskanen is putting Minnesota up 2-0, and Minnie continues to roll, taking game 3 6-3. The Blues avoid elimination in game 4 with a 4-3 win, and game 5 with a 3-1 win, but in game 6, Minnesota's off to the conference finals. And in the conference finals, they'll match up against the Edmonton Oilers. A goal in every period is enough, and Minnesota's taking game 1. 3 unanswered in the thirds, giving Minnesota a 2-0 series lead. A 2-1 win in game 3 is putting the Oilers on the brink of elimination, but the Oilers avoid the sweep in game 4 with a 4-3 win. And in game 5, we're off to the Stanley Cup final once again. In the Stanley Cup final, we're going to match up against the Toronto Maple Leafs. We've got the 2 best teams in the league matched up against each other, so this is going to be a good series. Minnesota's taking an important game 1 5-1, but Toronto responds in game 2 with a 3-1 win. A 3-1 lead is too much to overcome, and the Wild are taking a 2-1 series lead. 3 unanswered, including an OT winner, puts Minnesota 1 game away from hoisting the cup, and in game 5, a Kirill Kaprizov hat trick is helping the Wild win the Stanley Cup. I've lost track of how many cups and Stanley Cup appearances we've had. All I know is there's 1 season left, so we can get 1 more cup. Leading all postseason scorers was Kirill the Thrill with 16 goals and 13 assists for 29 points, while Jake Ottinger is picking up 16 wins with a 913 save percentage and a 248 goals against. Taking a look at the draft lottery results, Arizona's getting the first overall pick. We had 5 picks in the upcoming draft, and our best prospects ended up being a low elite potential left winger, a medium elite potential goalie, and another low elite potential left winger. So like usual, sign in rookies and qualifying RFAs, and that's the last time we're going to be doing that. And Gorgiev, I'm giving you a 1-year deal at $825K, Kachuk 1 year at $800K, Ratcliffe 1 year at $1.3 million, and then 2 prospects are headed to the Ducks for a depth piece. So we're heading into our final season. We've dominated the league these past 10 years. Now it's time to dominate for one final season. So for the final time in this video, we'll simulate through the first 10 games and see how we're looking. Through the first 10, we're sitting alright with a 5-4-1 record, and over the next 15, we stepped it up going 11-4, so we're sitting at a 16-8-1 record. Through 50 games, this team's dominating like usual, 34-14-2, first in the Central and second in the entire league. Steen's leading the way with 24 goals and 31 assists for 55 points. Kirill the Thrills picked up 29 goals and 24 assists for 53 points, and Shane Wright, he's got 11 goals and 36 assists for 48 points. Perunovic is leading the defense for the first time in this video with 7 goals and 21 assists for 28 points, and Jake Ottinger, he continues to do his thing. 24 wins with a 909 save percentage and a 266 goals against. So heading into our final postseason appearance, we're going to make some moves at the trade deadline. Over the next 9 games, we were just average with a 5-4 record, so we got to make at least one move. A first in Kachuk is off to the Penguins for Lysell in a second. With that move made, we're swimming to the end of the season and winning ourselves another Stanley Cup. When the season came to an end, we're finishing first in the Central once again with a 55-22-5 record, and that means we're also finishing first in the entire league. Steen led the way with 49 goals and 49 assists for 98 points. Shane Wright's coming in second with 27 goals and 63 assists for 90 points, and Kirill the Thrills picking up 37 goals and 52 helpers for 89 points. Miro Heiskanen led the defense in points with 9 goals and 42 assists for 51 points, while Jake Ottinger picked up 41 wins with a 908 save percentage and a 270 goals against. Leading the entire league in scoring was Mitch Marner with 33 goals and 85 assists for 118 points, and Austin Matthews, he's casually picking up 71 goals and 46 assists for 117 points. He was dialed in once again this season. And Sebastian Aho, he's picking up 43 goals and 65 assists for 108 points. Cale Makar is leading all defensemen in points with 72, consisting of 11 goals and 61 assists, while Stuart Skinner picks up 44 wins with a 917 save percentage and a 247 goals against. In the first round, we're matching up against the Vancouver Canucks. Minnesota opens the series with a 4-2 win in game 1. However, Vancouver's responding in game 2 with a 4-1 win. An OT winner from Rossi's giving us a 2-1 series lead, but the Canucks are responding once again with a 3-1 win. And in game 5, a 2-1 win from the Canucks is pushing the Wild to the brink of elimination. The Wild would survive on the back of an Ottinger shutout, and in game 7, another shutout is sending us to the second round. In the second round, we'll match up against the Colorado Avalanche. 3 unanswered, including an OT winner, gives the Avs game 1. The Avs continue to roll, taking game 2 5-2. Minnie avoids falling to a 3-0 deficit with a 2-1 win, and in game 4, an OT winner is putting the Minnesota Wild on the brink of elimination. However, Minnesota's not ready to fold as they're taking game 5 4-3, and game 6 6, 4-1, and in Game 7, a 3-1 win is sending us to the conference finals. In the conference finals, we're matching up against the Seattle Kraken. 4 goals in the third is giving Minnesota Game 1, 3 unanswered in the third from the Kraken is evening the series. A Seattle shutout in Game 3 puts them up 2-1, and an OT winner from the Kraken is putting the Minnesota Wild on the brink of elimination. Minnesota would survive a late push from the Kraken in Game 5, but in Game 6, 3 unanswered is going to eliminate the Minnesota Wild. I would say it's been a pretty successful 10 years. We won 4 cups, we made a lot of Stanley Cup final appearances. What more could you really ask for? So thank you all for watching, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe.